Hey there, all my social media fans. Tom Novak here with Novak Weather. Thank you for joining me. It is Monday, March 18th, and yes, if I am producing a video, that means there's a ton to talk about. Finally! We've had 3, 4 months of what just seems to be tranquil weather, warm, unseasonably warm, with just nothing happening, and we are in such a snow and precipitation deficit. We need to make up for it, and I think we're going to do that here over the next couple of weeks. So we are going to end March, or at least the second half of March, out like a lion. Here we go. Let's get right to it. By the way, this video update is brought to you by American Waterworks. Yes, my friends over there, Elena and Mike and the team at American Waterworks. They're located in Fargo and Rochester, Minnesota. They take care of the Dakotas, Minnesota, western Wisconsin. If you have moisture problems, foundation problems at your home or business, you need to give these people a call. They do great work. They actually did work for me too on foundation issues. And yes, they can take care of you. Great at what they do. And with all the moisture that appears to be headed our way here over the next couple of weeks, I think they're going to be busy. And I think some of you watching this are going to be having some issues. But we need the moisture. Okay, here we go. Thanks, American Waterworks, for sponsoring this update. Here it is. These are the winds now. This is the GFS computer model guidance. The winds at about 30 to 35,000 feet, the jet stream. And here they are today. They're coming right out of the north. That's the reason why it was so cold, not only this weekend, but then as we were heading into early this week now. And now watch what happens as we put this into motion. You can see a northwest flow is over much of the northern half of the country. Hence the reason why, yeah, we'll get a nice little shot of warm air tomorrow, but this is a cold weather pattern as air from western Canada, and it's fairly cold air, is able to stream southeast into our region. Now, this is important. This is as we head into Thursday night and Friday morning. Here's a jet streak, and we'll get into this a little bit more here as we go through this video. This is a pretty strong jet streak at about 120 to 130 knots over northern Minnesota and Lake Superior. And right at the right rear quad of a jet streak is usually where you get significant lift, and that's where we are going to be later this week. Hence the reason why I'm thinking a good shot of precipitation, likely in the form of snow, is going to hit us. Now, here's what's really kind of a surprise to me, and I think it will be to everybody else. Look at what happens as we get into late this weekend. This is Sunday night and Monday morning, and then into early next week. This is really interesting. This is a jet streak at about 150 to 160 knots that will be surging northeast into Illinois and the southern Lake Michigan area. We are going to be in the left front quad of that jet streak and in the right rear quad of just this jet streak here that continues to be situated over northern Minnesota and southern Ontario. This is another, again, a great place to be located for intense lift in the atmosphere. That will also be the case, again, not only later Thursday into Friday morning, but then Sunday and into early next week. So lots of weather and hopefully a lot of precipitation to talk about here over the next at least 3 to 5 days, and probably actually into that 7 and 10 day period too. We've zoomed out now over North America. And just for geographic references, here's the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin right here. And these are the 500 millibar heights, the departures from normal, the anomalies in our atmosphere. And these blue areas here are heights that are contracting. And they're usually when you're on the backside of some contracting heights, which is right here, you get cold air to dump into your region. That's what we've had over this weekend and today. Now watch what happens as we go through this week. That trough or these lowering heights just sit in place over southern Canada and the northern U.S. That means cold air is going to sit in place over our region, Minnesota and Wisconsin, and it's actually only going to deepen here as we get into Sunday and Monday. And look at this impressive trough that develops over the heart of the United States as we head into Sunday, Monday, and then eventually Tuesday of next week. This is a potentially massive storm system, early spring storm, late winter storm that will crank up over the Central Plains and then track northeast into the Great Lakes region. And if we can get that cold air to sit in place, then we are likely going to get one heck of a late winter, early spring storm here over much of the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Here is the cold air. You can see it here. These are the lower layers of our atmosphere at 850 millibars. We're right around 5, 6, 7,000 feet in our atmosphere. Here's this nice little shot. It's a brief one, but a little bit of warm air for later tonight and tomorrow. So take advantage of it, because you're not going to be seeing that here for a while, that warm air that is. Look at the cold air coming out of Canada. This is straight from the Arctic regions that will be racing south as we go through the middle of this week. And this sets the stage. This is Thursday now. Look at all the, it's modified intense Arctic air, but still, this is some pretty cold air for late March sitting over southern Canada and northern Minnesota and the Great Lakes. And as we get a disturbance to move east and southeast into our region, it's going to pull up some Gulf moisture and Pacific moisture and throw it up and over this cold dome of air on later Thursday and Friday. Yes, that means the likelihood for snow. And then that cold air just sits in place. We haven't said this for 3 to 4 months. In fact, I can't even remember the last time, really in the last 6 to 10 months, where we've had such a significant amount of Arctic air that just sits in place over our region for this for a long period of time. Yeah, we had that little bit of an outbreak in January, but this is some pretty good Arctic air. And here it is. This is Monday and into Tuesday of next week. Warm Gulf air moving north into the Great Lakes, western Great Lakes, maybe even into Minnesota and western Wisconsin. But that warm Gulf of Mexico air will be riding up and over the cold dome of air. And that means a significant, the way it appears now, a significant storm system for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of next week. And even as we head into the middle portions of next week, you'll see the Arctic air still pouring in to the United States from Canada. So yes, later this weekend and early next week really looks interesting, along with late Thursday and into Friday. Okay, hey, just wanted to quickly show you what is happening at a zoomed in level here for Thursday evening. Here's your jet streak at 30 to 35,000 feet over northern Minnesota. We'll be in the right rear quad of that jet streak on Thursday evening and overnight Thursday into Friday morning. Great place for lift. But as we drill down and we go to about 10 to 15,000 feet in our atmosphere, look at how the winds now are starting to crank up. This is what we call a low-level jet that's going to be moving from west to east or southwest to northeast into southern Minnesota, nosing into southern Minnesota. And then at about 5 to 10,000 feet, you can see our winds turn more to a southerly or southwesterly direction as what we call, again, the low-level jet. That means there's going to be some turning winds in our atmosphere. And this time of the year when you got cold air in place, that's a pretty good recipe for an organized area of significant snow. And I think that is what we are going to get here as we head into later Thursday, probably after 6 p.m. on Thursday and then into Friday morning. That's why I have much of the I-94 corridor, in fact, much of southern Minnesota, portions of central Minnesota, and a good chunk of western Wisconsin in a moderate risk, at least a moderate risk for issues on the roadways here during that period. And we'll likely have to update this map and maybe even put in a more of a higher or high impact level area somewhere near the I-94 corridor. We'll see how things shake out here. Again, that is for later Thursday and into Friday morning. Here's your extended forecast. Average highs should be in the mid to upper 40s now as we head into the next 7 to 10 day period. We're not going to be anywhere near that except for tomorrow. But after that, we're going to be nowhere near that. Temperatures will be 10 to 20 degrees below normal. When was the last time you've heard that? Yeah, it's been a while. That means Arctic air will be in place, and that then sets the stage for these snows, not only later Thursday and into Friday morning, but then this whopper of a storm, the way it appears, for late Saturday. This would be Saturday night through much of Sunday, and then maybe even another shot of wintry weather Monday and Tuesday of next week. So a ton to talk about. Make sure you keep it here on Novak Weather for the latest and, of course, best forecasting and most up-to-date forecasting, because I'll have a lot for you here coming this week, this weekend, and then into next week. So let's buckle up. This is something similar to last year. If you remember last season, when we had all those storms. Well, we're finally going to kick it in the way it appears here over the next 7 to 10 days. All right, thanks for joining me. Take care. Thank you, American Waterworks. Bye-bye.